how he was able to build his company and earn billions. It was 1982 when he bet on a financial crisis that never happened. They made a powerful impression on me, so I decided to make a video not about finance or Bitcoin. Glad to welcome you to the Coin Post channel. Today we have an unusual video because it's not about finance, cryptocurrency, or even the latest news. Today we're looking at the principles for success which can help you achieve your goal regardless of what you do. As an exemplary model, I suggest taking one of the wealthiest people in the world, a billionaire and the founder of the Bridgewater Associates investment company, Ray Dalio. I invite you, my dear viewer, to discover how he was able to build his company and earn billions. It's gonna be a short extract from the 8 fundamental principles for success by Ray Dalio. And as the billionaire claims, anyone could follow them. Well, let's try. Make sure you're subscribed to our channel and join our community. Let's dive in. The first principle of Ray Dalio is define truth with your mind. It means that everyone must develop their own principles for success. In the future, it'll make it possible to do the most important thing in the life of each person, namely to decide what you want to do and take courage to do it. At the beginning of his journey, Ray Dalio had no principles, but each of us has many events happening in our lives, and you cannot avoid them, just as it is impossible to stop time. But each time making a decision and then analyzing its consequences, especially if you made a mistake, you could develop your own system of principles, which will allow you to do things right in the future and stay the course of achieving your goal. The second principle for success is that you need to accept reality and deal with it. There's a simple formula to achieve this goal. First, you have to decide what you want. For example, build a career, become financially independent, be a good father, or live on a desert island. Then you should embrace the reality to understand what problems you might have on your way. And the third ingredient is perseverance. It will take a lot of determination to overcome all the difficulties on the way to what you want. Ray Dalio made many mistakes in his life. He often fell, but would rise every time. He got used to the fact that it was impossible not to fall at all. He accepted this as part of reality and learned from his experience. So later, he would fall less and less and managed to overcome all the challenges that seemed completely insuperable at the beginning of his journey. As you develop, you will set bigger goals, and you'll need to make more effort to get there. To deal with it, you can use the 5-step method. Step 1. Set an attainable goal and move towards it. Step 2. Face a problem. You can't avoid it, and you shouldn't be afraid. Step 3. Evaluate the situation, because there are no hopeless situations. Step 4. Make a troubleshooting plan. And Step 5. Bring this plan to life and reach the target. Our whole life consists of these 5 steps, and it's not just about people, but everything that surrounds us. It's the law of evolution. On our way to the goal, you need to adapt to the current reality, otherwise you could die. It's the only way ahead when you face the challenge and find ways to solve it. Moving towards your goal and successfully applying the 5-step method, you may find yourself in a situation when you're stumped. For Ray Dalio, it was 1982 when he bet on a financial crisis that never happened. And as a result, Ray was the only one employee that remained in his Bridgewater company. And to pay the bills, he had to borrow $4,000 from his father. Then he wanted to give up, find a regular job, wear a tie, and live like everyone else. But he managed to cope with his biggest problem. He embraced reality and found ways to keep going. And so today, Bridgewater is one of the best investment companies in the world and manages $160 billion of assets. No one's safe from anything like this. Anyone can be in a situation where the only possible solution seems to surrender. But it's not like that. It's just another problem you need to analyze, then make a plan to eliminate it, and finally put your plan into action. Trying to deal with his biggest problem in life, Ray Dalio discovered a weird pattern. Everything happening around you, ranging from the universe to a short life of a moth, is cyclical. It's all a history repeating. We often think that we face an insoluble problem, but that's not true. It's just right now, to you, this obstacle seems to be something unique and you don't see any way past it. But if you go back in history, you can find successful solutions to similar situations and take advantage of it. Besides, we often don't see how to solve the problem because we are afraid to take risks related to dealing with it. You must accept that the more valuable the reward, the higher the risk you must take to achieve it, and no one can make this choice for you. Analyzing his primary failure and deciding to move on, Ray Dalio discovered two critical barriers on the way to the goal. We often think that external factors cause challenges on our way. The boss who doesn't appreciate your talents, the state that crushes business with taxes, or your neighbor who's drilling the wall the third day long and doesn't let you focus. In fact, the cause of many problems lies in ourselves and in two obstacles that we must overcome to reach a new level of self-development. The first barrier is your ego. Generally, we tend to overestimate our knowledge and abilities and consider ourselves smarter, more talented, capable than others. Our mind is designed so that it instinctively responds to any criticism with irritation. It's a problem of massive ego. It seems to us that we're always right, even if it's not true. And so we often don't perceive information that is contrary to our point of view. Simply put, we want to believe in what we already believe in, and therefore are ignorant of any other arguments. The second barrier is perception of the world. We see the world as we want it to see. It's caused by genetic factors such as analytical or creative mindset, as well as the level of education, social status, external environment, and many other factors. In fact, each of us adjusts the picture of the world for ourselves, therefore distorting it, which leads to bad decisions. Ray Dalio accepted that ego and personal perception push him to make mistakes, and found a way to get away from the problem. He changed the paradigm of proving he's right to the search for truth. In his case, he called upon the expertise of other people, started to build his company and his team anew. These were people who had their own point of view and could justify it. Starting a discussion with them, Dalio didn't try to prove he was right. He decided to look at the world through their eyes, to understand why they see the same things in a completely different way. Therefore, in the process of analyzing different points of view, Ray Dalio learned to look for the right answers to his questions. As he says, it's like going from seeing in the black and white to seeing in color, when the world suddenly has a lot of different colors and you didn't even know it was so diverse. Dalio also points out that you don't have to do everything on your own when overcoming difficulties with the 5-step process. You cannot deal with some problems alone, or at least you cannot do it well, but there are always people who can go through these difficulties. You just need to ask for their help and move on. Following his own principles, Ray Dalio managed to attain the original goal. He didn't give up. He stayed on track despite all the opposition of the world around him and realized one amazing thing. Real success and reward are not about the result, but about the process of achieving them. Attaining one goal is just a way to look at the world from a different perspective and find a new, more desirable dream. And so on forever. Each time we get the result, we become better and understand we're capable of doing more. After Ray Dalio became successful and the whole world recognized it, he met other successful people. It turned out that each of them had their own principles for success, but everyone concluded that attaining a new goal is only the first step on the road to the next one. Today, Ray Dalio wants well-being for all the people he met on the way to success. It's his new dream, which he realized in the process of his own development. He wants everyone to take and try his principles, adapt them, and build their own system. It doesn't matter who invented them, it's essential to find enough courage to take a path and stick to it. That's how your life can reach its full development potential. On a personal note, I would be glad if I knew these principles by Ray Dalio earlier. They made a powerful impression on me, so I decided to make a video not about finance or Bitcoin, but about the way you can succeed regardless of what you do. Now, as you got the knowledge, nothing can prevent you from putting it into practice, and I sincerely wish it for you. And that's all for today. Thank you for watching. It's the Coin Post channel. Subscribe and get enlightened.